are about to tell you a fascinating story, and my guest is Reyes Buyan. Thank you so much for being here. We should say that you were shot 10 days after 9/11 on September 21st, 2001. You told me on a Friday at 12:30. You came from Bangladesh to build a better world for yourself, and were working in a mini mart. Pick it up from there and what happened on that day.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to your show. It's an honor to be here.
Likewise.
Thank you. It was September 21st, 2001, around 12:30 p.m. I was working in a friend's gas station in Dallas, Texas. And I just moved from New York City to Dallas for a better future. And it was it was a different experience to work in a gas station.
Because you were in the Air Force.
I was in the Air Force, and I also grew up in upper middle class family. And after graduating from the Air Force Academy as a pilot officer, I did not feel my destiny was there. And
but you were educated, and you came to this country and end up working in a mini mart to rebuild a new foundation in a new country.
Right, and I didn't mind doing that. I came to U.S. for pursuing further higher education in computer science, and so I didn't mind to start from scratch. It was pretty interesting to work in a gas station, selling 3 tamales for $1, or maybe candy for 35 cents. And as a pilot officer in the Air Force, you never get a chance to do something like that. So I was enjoying actually the work, and it gave me a chance to connect with the American people. I would say more friendly, in a very grassroots level, and see all kinds of people coming to gas station. Mm-hmm. I was pretty enjoying that work. But that particular day, 10 days after 9/11 terrorist attack, business was pretty slow, and it was raining cats and dogs since morning. And around 12:30 p.m., I saw through the glass of the gas station, to the window, a customer was coming, but he was wearing a bandana, sunglasses.
And you had been robbed before, this was a different.
I was robbed before, and so as soon as I saw that customer wearing bandana, sunglasses, and a baseball cap, and holding something black and shiny on his right waist, I realized it would be a robbery. So right there, I was ready with the cash on the counter, stepped few steps back from the counter. As soon as he walked in, I said, "Sir, here is all the money. Take it, but please do not shoot me." But he was not looking at the money, though. He was looking at me. And I felt a cold air flow through my spine. Why he's not looking at the money? If he's here to rob me, he should be taking the money and left the store as soon as possible. But then he mumbled a question. "Where are you from?" And before I could say more than "excuse me," he pulled the trigger from 4 to 5 feet away. And I felt it first like a million bees stinging my face. And then I heard the sound, the big explosion. He shot me in the right side of my face and head. And I looked down to the floor, and so blood was pouring like an open faucet from the right side of my head. And frantically, I placed both hands on my head, thinking I had to keep my brain from spilling out. And I remember myself screaming "Mom" very loudly. And I was shaking so hard, I even could not dial 911. And I looked left, saw the gunman was still standing, looking at me. And I thought, if I pretend that I'm dying, he will not shoot me anymore. So I jumped on the floor, and after a few seconds, he left the store.
You then were worried that you were going to die.
I was.
That you can't fall asleep, that you have to get help. How did you get help?
Well, I grabbed the phone, but I was shaking so hard I couldn't dial 911, and I was so afraid that I would pass out any moment inside the gas station. So I grabbed the phone, ran outside to the barber store next door, And 3 men inside looked at me in horror. They thought the gunman was right behind me, and they tried to escape out by the emergency exit door. And I grabbed one of them and he screamed, "Please call 911. I am dying. I don't want to die today." And one of them called 911. And while he called, I caught myself in the mirror and I could not believe that was me. The image reflecting back at me was gruesome. A few minutes earlier, I had been a smiling, healthy young man,
Of 27.
27 years old. In the instant it takes to pull the trigger, I had become disfigured, fighting to stay awake, fighting to stay alive.
You lost the sight in your right eye. You cannot see out of your right eye.
No, what happened as a result of the shooting, I received more than 35 pillars on my face, and at least 2 of them went through my right eye. And after several surgeries, the eye specialist was able to save the vision, save the eye, but the vision is gone. I had better than perfect 20/10 vision. So in my left eye, I have 20/10, but on the right eye, 0.
A man by the name of Mark Stroman shot you. You then started a relationship with him. And take me down that journey. Who was eventually put to death?
Well, Mark Stroman, the person who shot me in the face, also killed 2 other innocent human beings from Southeast Asia. One named Mr. Waqar Hassan from Pakistan, and the other person name is Vasudeb Patel from India. And as a result of his crime, he was given death penalty in 2002. And I went through a healing process where I grew mentally, psychologically, physically, and spiritually. And after returning from a Hajj, which is a religious pilgrimage to Mecca for the Muslims, I came back as a changed person. What happened in Mecca, I spent almost a month praying almost 14, 15 hours per day, asking for guidance, forgiveness from God. And I kept thinking about my shooting and the person who shot me in the face. And I deeply realized that hate and revenge may bring temporary satisfaction, but they don't bring peace or any solution to any situation. They only bring more disaster and misery. And I thought about Mark Stroman as well, that how his life was irrevocably changed due to this one single incident, and he had been sitting on a death row waiting to die. And I realized that by killing him, we would simply lose a human life without dealing with the root cause. But if he was given a second chance, he might become a better person. I suffered terribly, but I did not see any value in him suffering as well. And I thought that giving him a second chance was the right thing to do. I saw him as a human being, as a victim as well. And I returned from Mecca and I started lobbying to save his life. And I worked very closely with the Amnesty International, the Muslim Legal Fund of America in Dallas, and also Reprieve. It's a London-based non-profit organization who helped me to take my campaign to the European Union Parliament, German Parliament, and at the headquarters of Lundbeck, the lethal injection manufacturer in Denmark. With the help of Reprieve, we were able to convince the executive of Lundbeck to write a letter to the governor of Texas, urging him not to use their product to kill Mark Stroman, because I did not see any value of killing this person. And Lundbeck did that. They wrote a letter, and not only that, I also went to the U.S. Supreme Court asking for clemency to save Mark Stroman's life. That's how, when he came to know about the campaign, that one of his victims is running an international campaign to save his life, he was stunned. He was deeply touched. This is not something he expected from a Muslim. And he was reduced to tears. And he wrote a letter from the prison, a long letter. And he gave many statements to the national and international media. And he apologized and he asked for mercy and forgiveness as well.
Where did his hate for Muslims come from?
Well, I think it mainly came from ignorance. Mainly from ignorance. He never had a friend, from this faith, or he never met a person who was Muslim. And at the same time as well, what happened, what he said in his statement, that rerun after rerun of the same video clip in the news media, that group of Muslim terrorists did that, hitting the Twin Towers. He said, I snapped at some point because these people attacked my country and I have the right to take actions against these people. So he blamed me and my kind for 9/11. So ignorance, and also some media contributed, and some of our leaders as well. I'm not saying everyone, but some leaders, some people talking about the same thing again and again, fueled to this cause, and he got inspired to take revenge on innocent human beings.
You are the founder of World Without Hate.
Right.
Tell me about this organization.
Well, I founded this organization called World Without Hate in 2011, and we believe in the transformational power of mercy and forgiveness, and we are dedicated to promoting the idea and the proposition contained within the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that all people, regardless of who they are or what they have done, they are entitled to their basic inherent human rights and dignity, and to be better people, and to bring about the world that we all want, a world without hate, a world without violence, and a world without victims. We must respect each other's human rights and move past prejudice and to empathize with one another. So I wanted to continue my work and also set a platform so that people like me, like-minded people, those who want to contribute their time, their energy, their financial support to make this world a better place for us and for our next generations, that would be a platform so that we all can work together. And that's why I founded this organization.
Your life is chronicled in The True American, and just reading through this, a number of things happened to you. You had a girl you were going to marry back in Bangladesh. Then this happened to you.
Right.
You were shot. Your life plays out in this book. It is an amazing read. Given the facts and given what we're seeing in the world today, filled with much hate against Muslims, against all kinds of different people for silly reasons, your message now, more than ever, is important to hear. Do you feel that you have the platform that you need to do that?
Well, absolutely, because what we are seeing here in the U.S. and all over the world, it only highlights the need for all people to come together and dedicate themselves toward a pursuit of better human behavior and better human relationships, because war and violence are not the solution. You cannot overcome hate by committing hate. You cannot overcome the injustice by doing injustice. You cannot overcome all the intolerance by spreading fear and ignorance. We need to work together to reunite ourselves, because words are powerful, prayers are powerful as well, but it is the actions that bring change. And whatever is happening in the world, it tells us that we need to come together, not only in our prayer, but also in our actions, so that it doesn't happen anymore, because we have to draw a line. When is enough is enough? How many more innocent human beings have to be a victim? Then we stand together and raise our voice, and we work together to make this world a better place. I think we have to say enough is enough now. Too much bloodshed has gone.
Reyes, when people find out that you are Muslim, do you feel the prejudice in the room? What do you feel on a day-to-day basis? And you talk all over the world now. What does one feel? And do you feel as if you need to keep explaining what your religion is all about? That it's not a religion of hate, as some people would say?
Well, that's a very good question. There are some places where I feel challenged, where I feel that I have to prove that I'm a peace-loving person, where I have to prove that I'm not a threat to anyone, and which I don't feel bad because it's an opportunity for me to help change a human heart. I rather enjoy that, even it's not very, sometimes it's not really a happy experience, but I take this one as an opportunity for me to help change a human heart. And some places, I have experienced that it's hard to help people understand, but at least we could reach to a common ground where they may not accept me, but at least they will tolerate me and they will treat me as another human being. They may not say something bad to me on my face, but at least they will not hurt me. Some places I feel that I'm well accepted and treated as a fellow human being, and also treated with respect and dignity. And the way I see it, there are good people, bad people everywhere, in every culture, in every religion, in every country. But the problem is that some people, they use their religion as a scapegoat to justify their bad behavior for two reasons. Either for material benefit or for name and fame. But it can be cured. There are many ways, I would say, and that's what I try to do when I face people. They do not treat me with respect or they treat me as a lesser person. I try to continue to reach out to them again and again.
Where did you find this power? Where did you find it? You were going to be left for dead on the floor of a mini mart in Dallas. Where did you find the strength?
Few things. The way my upbringings, one thing. My promise to God on my deathbed. And
when you were lying there on the floor?
I was lying on the floor, and also on my way to the hospital, I made a promise to God that if you give me a chance to live, I promise I would do good things with my life. I would dedicate my life for others. So God gave me a chance. So it's my time to prove that I'm keeping my word. And also the way I was raised by my parents, they taught me always put yourself on others' shoe. If I could do that, I will never ever do anything wrong to others. And that will give me the pleasure, that will give me the courage, the strength to go the extra mile and always be just and respectful to others. So I think it's a combination of the upbringings, the faith, and also the military school taught me not to give up. If I ever fall, if I ever face any challenges, I should get right back up and try again. If I ever wanted to be successful and impactful, I think it's a combination of everything. I don't give up, and I see every challenge as an opportunity to make something, to bring something good out of that.
Was it worth coming to America?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it was God's plan, first of all, and second thing, I would not do what I'm doing today if I would not come to America. This is a great country. There are lots of opportunity. There are lots of tools out there. And even though I saw the worst of the worst in this country as an immigrant, as a student, but this is a great country. I mean, whatever you want to be, you can be in this country. Whatever you would like to do, you can do it. There's no other country in the world that can offer such tools to be what you want to be and where you want to go. It was absolutely the right thing to do. I came to US and stayed after being shot in the face, because I always believed that no matter how long is the night, there is a morning.
What would you say to the country right now that seems to be so divided in so many different ways? You were in Dallas on the night 5 police officers were shot dead. What is your message? How can you help?
Well, right now, there's a lot of fear and misunderstanding going on in our country. And what we are facing, all the intolerance, all the hateful acts, writings, deeds, and speech, is happening because we're living in fear. And everywhere I go, I hear the same thing. People are frustrated, living in the fear of the other. And everybody wants change. And I tell people that this change starts within each of us. Take a moment to check where is your moral compass. Where is your moral compass lies. Take a moment to soften your heart. Take a moment to change your tone a little bit friendlier. I tell people that take a moment to forgive someone who has hurt you in the past, and take a moment to raise your voice, stand up against all manifestations of hateful rhetoric, act, writings, deeds, and speech, no matter who is the victim or who is the victimizer. If it is wrong, if it is crime, it's wrong, it's a crime. Do not take any side. Condemn the acts of violence, not the person who did that. And I also tell people that reach out to family, loved ones, friends, and neighbors who are going through challenges instead of ignoring them, because by reaching out to them, we can save many innocent lives.
President Barack Obama has reached out to you. How?
Well, it was a great surprise. Me and my wife, Jessica, we visited the White House last March, and that time I left a copy of this book, The True American, for the President and the Vice President, with a lovely note. And I believe he read the book. That's my gut feelings. And so recently I received a letter from him, a thanking note, and he thanked me for doing this courageous work, even though I had the option to do something different, but I faced the hatred, and I changed the narrative through peace and forgiveness and mercy. It was fascinating and incredible, happy feelings that received a letter from the president.
Reyes Buran, thank you so much for being here and
It's an honor.
imparting your knowledge to us, and I hope many learn from your words.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Made a trivial pursuit, spend one this in. Who's this girl I spend all night kissing? And the bumper's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride. The harder we look, the less we can see. Don't you know, you know that you need me.